Am I wrong for questioning my girlfriend's close relationship with her son? I'm a 46-year-old man, currently in a relationship with a 43-year-old woman from Brazil. We've been together for 6 months, and overall, things have been going well between us. However, I recently encountered some situations that have left me feeling confused and uncomfortable, and I'm wondering if I'm overreacting or if my concerns are valid. My girlfriend's 23-year-old son is currently visiting from Brazil and staying at her apartment. As someone who grew up in American culture, I've noticed some behaviors between them that seem unusual to me, and I'm struggling to understand whether this is a cultural difference or something I should be concerned about. A few days ago, I was sitting in the living room with her son when my girlfriend walked through the area without being fully dressed on her way to take a shower. What struck me as odd wasn't just her lack of modesty, but the fact that her son seemed completely unfazed by the situation and watched her walk by without any apparent discomfort or attempt to look away. In my experience growing up in America, family members typically maintain certain boundaries regarding privacy and modesty, especially between parents and adult children. This incident made me feel uncomfortable, though I tried to rationalize it as possibly being a cultural difference. The situation that really concerned me happened last night. I arrived at my girlfriend's apartment earlier than planned and walked back to the bedroom to find her and her son lying together on the bed in what appeared to be an intimate position. They were facing each other very closely, and he was kissing her on the neck and cheek area. When they noticed me, both jumped up immediately, and the conversation that followed was extremely awkward for everyone involved. I expressed that this type of physical closeness between a parent and adult child seemed inappropriate to me based on my cultural background. Both my girlfriend and her son explained that this type of physical affection is completely normal in Brazilian culture. They told me that families there are much more physically affectionate with each other, regardless of age, and that what I witnessed was simply normal family bonding behavior. When I mentioned that this wouldn't be considered typical family behavior in American culture, they both seemed to find my reaction amusing, rather than understanding my perspective. This response made me feel even more uncomfortable because it felt like my concerns weren't being taken seriously. I'm now facing a difficult decision about our relationship. On one hand, I understand that different cultures have different norms around family relationships and physical affection. I don't want to be judgmental about cultural practices that I simply don't understand. On the other hand, I can't shake the feeling that what I witnessed goes beyond typical family affection, even accounting for cultural differences. The level of physical intimacy and lack of boundaries feels inappropriate to me, regardless of the cultural context. Questions I'm asking myself: am I being too rigid in my cultural expectations? Should I try to be more understanding of different cultural norms? Is it reasonable for me to feel uncomfortable with these behaviors? Are there universal boundaries that should exist in family relationships? How do I navigate a relationship where our cultural backgrounds create such different perspectives on appropriate behavior? This situation has made me realize how challenging cross-cultural relationships can be, especially when it comes to family dynamics. What's considered normal and healthy in one culture might seem inappropriate or concerning in another. I'm torn between wanting to be respectful of my girlfriend's cultural background and trusting my own instincts about what feels right to me. I also worry about whether this cultural difference is something we can work through, or if it represents a fundamental incompatibility. Moving forward, I genuinely care about my girlfriend and don't want to end our relationship over a misunderstanding. However, I also need to feel comfortable and respected in the relationship. I'm considering whether it's worth having another conversation about boundaries and cultural differences, or if this situation has revealed that we're simply too different in our fundamental values. What would you do in this situation? Are my concerns valid, or am I overreacting to cultural differences I don't understand?